Just off the quay in Waterford City, steps from the Christ Church Cathedral, stands a place where artistry and tradition meet fire and precision. Today, we're taking you behind the scenes at House of Waterford, where crystal is still made by hand, one cut at a time. Before we step into the factory, here's a glimpse of what all that craftsmanship leads to. Flawless crystal, on display, known around the world for its elegance and detail.
So welcome to the House of Waterford. As I said, my name is Mary, and here I'm going to talk you through a little bit of history, and then we make our way onto the factory floor. So it all begins in 1783, George and William Penrose. Now the Penrose, they were very successful businessmen, but they had no background in glassmaking. Now Waterford was the ideal location because of the port to export the product, also because of the vast woodland area. The Gatchels ran the business for a number of years, but then a new excise tax was introduced in Ireland. So this was the beginning of the end of free trade for glassmakers in Ireland, and they were forced to close their doors in 1851. Then almost 100 years later, in 1947, at the end of World War II, a Czechoslovakian man by the name of Charles Batchik decided to set up a crystal industry. They travelled to Europe and they recruited 30 cutters and blowers. Now among these was a man named Miroslav Havel. So Miroslav Havel had mastered all aspects of crystal making. He trained the Irish apprentices. He also became Waterford's first chief designer. In 1952, he designed the Lismore pattern that you can see in the centre of the case here. This is our most popular pattern to date, and he got his inspiration from Lismore Castle. It's a beautiful castle in Lismore, County Waterford, and it's based on its leaded windows and turrets. The bowl over here on the right hand side, this is called the apprentice bowl. Now when the apprentice cutter has trained for 5 years, they have to sit an exam. The reason why they're given this bowl is because it incorporates every single cut they'll ever need throughout their career. It involves 10 wheel changes and 600 individual cuts. They're given 3 clear bowls, 2 to practice on, 1 is the exam piece. Now if they pass, the name and date are inscribed on the bowl that are presented with the piece. Then another 3 years to become a master cutter. So it takes 8 years altogether to become a master cutter. So this factory here is like the prestige factory. We do the one-off high-end commission pieces, you know, like trophy pieces and clear production. Our sister factory in Slovenia, they make all of the colour and some of the clear production, so it's between the 2 factories. So this is the mould department here. Now the House of Waterford is one of the few companies in the world that still practice this ancient art of mould making. Now there's 2 types of wood used here. Most of it is beech wood, which is sourced locally, but they also use pear wood. So this is pear wood here, and this is called pitch. So this is imported from France and Germany. It's used to make the stemware. You see the shape of it here? Now they also make these handheld wooden tools, and we'll see these being used in the next department. The longest these last is about a week because of the intense heat of the crystal. So these are the wooden molds for special commission pieces, trophy pieces, etc. Now the most they can be used is 7 to 10 times. After that they start to lose their shape because of the intense heat.
Absolutely.
We call these one-off pieces. They never just make one, there's always backup. So we'll see replicas as we make them into the factory. For the everyday pieces they use cast iron molds, and they can last up to 70 years. So that's pretty cool. So this is the blowing department here. Now the main furnace is directly in front, behind the heat shield. That's where the molten crystal is stored. The heat of the furnace is 1400 degrees Celsius, 13 times hotter than boiling water, and it runs 24/7. On the left hand side they're making smaller pieces. Now for the smaller pieces they go directly to the furnace to collect it on the end of the iron. On the right hand side is where they make the larger pieces, and for this the crystal comes from the furnace into billets in the background. There are silver containers here in the background, and now it's using the handheld wooden tools to pre-shape and mould it. And this is what they're working on here, this side here. the left-hand side, we have a vertical saw, and behind that, horizontal saw. Now these are used to remove the cap. When the cap is removed, it's placed in the good cullet. Now every so often they transfer those up to the back of the furnace. They feed the material into the furnace very slowly. As it hits the heat, it melts, and that's what creates the crystal. Now over on the right hand side, you see the two flat wheels. These are called Batiste wheels. Now these act like sandpaper. When the cap is removed, it leaves a rough edge on the top of the piece, and that needs to be smoothed out. So we have one rough and one smooth Batiste wheel. See the one compact 6. That's also used to remove the caps. And when they remove the caps here, they place them on the glazing machine. You see right beside it here.
Yep.
They glaze the top of it with flame. So this also smooths out the top of the piece. So it's just another way of doing it. It's just a different way. It's the same result.
Sure.
Now we saw them making these a few moments ago. These are the Blackwater whiskey tumblers. So this is one of the pieces named after the Blackwater River, which flows through Lismore and County Waterford. So they're named after that river. As I said already, these are exclusive to this factory and store, and they've been making them a few months, since late last year they've been making these. Now you see the circular cut, that represents the river. These cuts here represent the surrounding landscape, and these the reflection in the river. This piece here, this is from the Millennium Bowl in Times Square, New York. So probably one of the most iconic pieces ever made here. It took a year and a half to make. It's 12 feet in diameter, and there's 2,668 of these glass panels.
Wow.
And then also you can see some trophy pieces from the Aer Lingus College Football Classic. So that took place in the Aviva Stadium in Dublin last year on the 24th of August. And then we have the American football one this year. And the next part then is the cutting department.
I know, yeah.
Hello.
No.
So now this is the cuts department here. Again, it takes 5 years to become a cutter and another 3 to become a master cutter. So here at House of Waterford, there's 2 types of cuts. Now this has both cuts on it. This one here is called the flat cut, and this is called the wedge cut. Now the flat cut needs to be placed twice on the piece. The first time it's done roughly, the second time it's smoothing it out. The machines for the flat cut are the 2 here on my left. And then with the wedge cut, they have to cut 2/3 into the crystal, and it has to be exactly 2/3. If they go in any further, it could break. They don't go in far enough, they don't get the right pattern. So it's very precise. Every cut has to have the exact same amount of pressure applied. And in a few moments we're going to see 2 machines on the right. These are called auto cutters. So these are used for precision cuts. Sometimes they're working on new pieces, but especially to do a perfect circle. It's physically impossible to do that by hand. So between 6 and 10% goes in there. Now the majority of the pieces are either started or finished by hand.
It looks like an old unit too,
They're
but
quite old.
yeah.
And these are the examples you see here of pieces done in the machine and also by hand. So as I said, the circles done in the machine, and the other ones then are done by hand. So partially done in the machine and partially done by hand. Oh my gosh. So the next part we have is sculpting. And every piece here begins as a solid block. See the solid blocks over
Sure.
the top? So these come down from the blowing department, and then using the machines, which we can see all around with drills, wheels, saws, belts, using those machines they carve out the shape of the crystal. Now the astronaut, that wasn't commissioned. One of our master craftsmen here made that for the anniversary of the landing on the moon. After having it on display, to date they've sold between 8 and 10 of those. Sometimes it can work that way as well. We have the gramophone here, the old-fashioned telephone, that's 2 separate pieces. Now depending on the individual piece, because some of these could take maybe 10, 12 blocks. Also you see the beautiful Gibson guitar, the Craftsman one.
Yes.
gingerbread house, the Viking helmet. Now, again, this is a new design they came up with last year, the Christmas tree. They have other Christmas trees in the showroom. This one is slightly different. This is a pet bowl, bowl for a dog.
Yeah.
Two separate pieces of crystal. To a glass of water. I hope you both enjoyed it. So when we go out of here, I'm going to show you a piece with the word Waterford on it. So we just make our way out and over to the left.
Back in the showroom, it's hard not to see each piece differently after witnessing the care that goes into it. From the first glowing breath of molten glass to the final carved flourish, Waterford Crystal is as much a story as it is a product.
So again, this is the Irish lace, you know the way we saw the piece earlier on. Only made in this factory here, and you see it here, the word Waterford. So that's on every piece since 1955. Also, this is the largest display of Waterford Crystal in the world. Thank you for doing the tour, and happy shopping.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, the tour ends the way every good Irish experience should, over coffee and something sweet. Whether you're into design, craftsmanship, or just love seeing how things are made, the House of Waterford offers a rare, close-up look at a centuries-old tradition still thriving today. If you're ever in Waterford, this place is worth a stop. If you enjoyed the tour, don't forget to subscribe and like for more hidden gems and hands-on adventures wherever travel takes us.